Hello, 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 and welcome to the show at Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today that trusts the choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows on WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts.
Man, I, it's been what, a month, and I still feel like the WrestleMania blues is like real. Even though it was a bad WrestleMania, but it was like, well, the main event was bad, but you get the blues. I feel like I was just about to get those blues, and now comes Money in the Bank in LA. Ah, thank you. Giving me more injections of that wrestling that we all love. How you doing, man?
We are good, just fine. And Wrestling Wit is good as well. Last week on the show we interviewed La Katrina and BMT. Two great individuals, two great interviews. Definitely go into the archives and check those interviews out if you haven't already. That brings us to this upcoming Tuesday, and that is The Real Drago. Um, Pro wrestler from Russia, currently wrestles in Florida. We talk about that, his relationship with NWA, a couple of matches with Tom Latimer, um, possibly going back to Russia to wrestle, being the real Drago, a match against Hornswoggle, and a hell of a lot more. Definitely an interesting and fun interview. And this upcoming Wednesday, we have the promoter of Pro Wrestling Action, Daniel Mack Shaw. We talk all things Pro Wrestling Action, the origins of the company, how it almost didn't take off, how the pandemic almost killed it completely, its current champions, how those championships got their names, the suits he wears at those shows, the names of those shows. We talk everything Pro Wrestling Action. We talk about his role as an announcer prior to being a promoter. His relationship with Alpha of the Wild Samoans. We talk about comic books, Batman, and a couple of movie roles he's been in as well. But don't take my word for it. Here's some clips right now.
It's like one of my favorite matches because I remember like when they put us together, and I also was nervous that moment too. So, and I saw like, damn, how can work with a midget? Like I'm a big guy, like what I can do or something. But my coach told me like, oh, don't worry, like it's gonna be fun. I was like, okay. So I kind of like wasn't happy because they put us together, but the way what we did and all reaction and that moment was like more than 1,000 people in the crowd, and we had like huge reaction, like people was screaming, like, and was so loud and it was cool. And I was so happy that I was work with that guy, and it was so cool. And so he squeezed my nipples, he bite my finger, and he bite my ass.
He goes, "Are you still acting?" At the time I wasn't. So like any good actor, I'm going to say, "Of course I am." And he goes, "Oh, great." He goes, "Are you available? It's a shoot we have to do it today." The person dropped out. It'd be like 2 hours of your time. I'll pay $200. So right there, I was already good for it. I'm like, all right, great. What do you see? He goes, "Well, I see your photo, and I think you could be perfect. It's a sleazy salesman." I'm like, "I'm your man. I'm there. No problem. You can sell me all you want for $200." So that a commercial as a sleazy car salesman. Apologies to all car salesmen out there who are not sleazy. Did air on a bunch of local cable channels. And then I got a little bit of the bug again. And then a director by the name of David Valsuto, who mostly did dramas, was doing a goofy comedy, and I say that with love, goofy comedy called Fiesta Grande, which was shooting in Orlando. And I went in for the audition. Actually, went for like one of the lead roles, but he's like, "Well, yeah, that doesn't really work for you. But can you do this smaller part?" And it was this businessman. I'm like, "Well, okay, what do you want out of this part?" He goes, "I just need to be a sleazy businessman." I'm like, "Holy crap, I'm getting typecast here, man."
And then on the 28th, we have Ron Dugan. So, lots more coming up for Wrestling Lit as we end the month. Alright, on to the bad news. We are wrestling with the news, and it is not a great day for wrestling as we lost an absolute positive legend in the homicidal, genocidal, death-defying Sabu, also known as Terry Brunk, known for his time in ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling. He was a two-time ECW World Champion, a former NWA World Champion as well. People might not know that. He held the television champion for ECW Tag Team Championships with RVD. People might even not know that he was an IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion in New Japan. Of course, Sabu was the nephew of the original Sheik. Apparently, he got shot in the face, and soon after he recovered, he started wrestling training with his uncle. Like I said, he was known for ECW, also being a part of FMW, Anita's Deathmatch Pro Wrestling Company, where he famously was in the Ring of Fire Deathmatch that only lasted a couple minutes because the heat was so extreme in the ring that everybody had to evacuate after a couple minutes. He also got a lot of the scars that you've seen on his body during his time in FMW, where he famously crazy glues all of his wounds shut, leaving those extreme, no pun intended, scars on his body. He would come back to ECW where he would feud with Terry Funk, King Kong Bundy, Shane Douglas. He famously and most notably headlined the first ever ECW pay-per-view, Barely Legal, against Taz. Like I said, after that, a couple of stints with New Japan, where he debuted in the Tokyo Dome, teaming with Masahiro Chono, of all people. A very interesting tag team, to say the least. Even did a couple of stints in a couple of matches in WCW. And even prior to that, even prior to going to FMW and ECW, in 1993, Sabu had a couple of shots with with WWE, where he wrestled Scott Taylor, Scotty 2 Hotty, and Owen Hart in dark matches. Yeah, a lot of interesting, fun facts about Sabu. But he would make his return to WWE in 2006, where he would have a interesting out of nowhere feud with John Cena, which led to a Extreme Lumberjack match at Vengeance 2006, I believe. Um, he wrestled the Big Show for the ECW Championship at SummerSlam. Fun facts there. And he, interestingly enough, teams with John Cena at Survivor Series in the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. Um, After that, he would do a couple stints with TNA. Um, his last notable television appearance would be with AEW, where he was the special guest enforcer for Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho at Double or Nothing, I believe. Was that 2 years ago? Yeah, on in 2023. And just a couple of weeks ago, on April 18th, Sabu wrestled his final match, his retirement match, at GCW at against Joey Janela in a barbed wire death match. We could maybe talk about that after we talk about we give this tribute to Sabu, but yeah, just right up to the end, he was still wrestling, which is, incredible for his age. He was 61. Definitely too young for a pro wrestler, if I'm being honest. But I think Taz said it the best on Dynamite last week. Sabu had aura before aura was a thing. You just gravitated to him. There was just something magical about that character. Whether it was drawing chairs, because not a lot of people drew chairs. Whether it was the Arabian moonsault, where he would use a chair to jump to the ropes onto his opponent, whether that was inside or outside the ring. Sabu is always going to be, I would say, a beloved figure in pro wrestling. Definitely a mythological figure when it comes to aura and, presentation. Any thoughts on anything you want to speak about on Sabu?
I mean, well, you kind of said a lot. It's crazy because, like, the story of him getting into wrestling, it was he got shot in the face. No, he got shot in the mouth, which is crazy. I mean, it's crazy that dude had some. It's like hearing the stories of Sabu, of how he got into wrestling. He got shot in the mouth helping his friend, trying to help his friend, right? Which is crazy enough, right? So then he goes and trains, and trains for 7 months with the Iron Sheik, but they trained and he didn't even touch the ring
The original
for
Sheik.
7 months. Yeah, the original Sheik. He didn't even touch the ring for 7 months. So it was basically the Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off way. He got old schooled into it. Which I mean, for the most part, that kind of not sealed his fate, but that kind of showed you the perspective he was coming from with it, right?
Yeah.
Especially considering, one of those old school guys who kind of keeps it. But there were so many stories about him doing matches where he would break his jaw.
I remember
This
that.
guy is lit in the middle of the match. and still like finish the match, which is bananas to me. That's just crazy. Like he would break his jaw, they would just stitch it, right? And then, that's it, and that's crazy that to even have that happen.
Very high tolerance for pain.
Very high. I think, and of course, me seeing him personally, I think I remember the first time I saw that guy on ECW, and during this time you had to watch Jesus, you had to watch it you had to find ECW.
Mm-hmm.
But when you found it, oh my goodness, it was bananas. That guy made me want to stay up. Him and RVD as a tag team was must see TV. It was bananas, the things that they were being able to do. His style was literally the antithesis of ECW. Him, Sandman, they had Sandman had more matches with him than anybody because it was always a freaking rivalry between them two. And then not to mention the tag with RVD was must see TV. Like the Dudleys were the number one tag team in ECW. They were a close second, and they really wasn't even a tag team. They just came together by virtue of rivalry.
Right. We beat
Which
the
is
crap
crazy.
out of
And
each other, and now we're beating the crap out of other people.
everyone else,
Yeah.
right? And it's crazy because Bill Alfonso is of course, the manager for them both, and for him, he says that's up there as one of the best times of his life, that says a lot. You know what I mean? That says everything to me because that dude was he was different. He was different. I mean, just coming in on John Cena like that was yo, you know what I'm saying? It was ooh. So, the fact that dude, it's just sad that it was just all of a sudden.
It was very sudden.
It was very sudden. The only saving grace of this is the fact that he got to go out. He got to retire, which, not a lot of wrestlers are able to do. He was able to retire, and the people who got to see him the most got to see him retire and kind of share what they mean to him.
Right.
But like you said, man, him and RVD, man, they were concertos before concerto was a thing.
Oh yeah.
They were doing top rope moves with the fucking moonsault with the bandaminator. It was just nuts, the moves that they would put together at ECW. They people like Sabu. I always say this: Sabu, RVD, and the Dudleys were the reason I stayed up to 3 a.m. looking for that goddamn show. Dead ass. Because them dudes were doing shit, and it was just what the fuck,
Oh yeah.
And I'm just looking 12. At this time, it's 11-year-old me man, this is some wild shit, but I like this.
I think it's safe to say, as big and influential as ECW was, and it absolutely is, I kind of feel like Sabu was one of the the stakes, the spearheads to that, because he was what the ECW style was. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he, I don't want to say he invented the ECW style, but he was what people looked at and said, yeah, that's what ECW is all about. That mentality, that personality.
Oh no, no, he man, dude, he was that, and I'm telling you, like there were several moves he invented. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
And it was just that guy is just triple jump moonsault, Sabu.
and he did it so effortlessly. And
So Tiffy Time, Christopher Daniels, they can thank Sabu
yes,
for
and
making that popular.
the funny part of it is, like, um, as many times as he hit it perfectly, there was times when he didn't hit it so perfectly, and people will say, "Oh, well, he didn't, he didn't hit it perfectly." Well, that wasn't actually intentional. Him and RVD kind of came out and said, we didn't always hit those moves 100% of the time, because we wanted to show the danger of what we're doing. That if a professional could like kind of shake at the top of the ropes, you know, it tells you how severe a match was, or that nothing was 100. So even like the psychology going into matches, like wow, to have that, you know, to have that mindset. And we're talking about. I talked about some of his history. We didn't even really scratch the surface. Like that was just like a small synopsis of what Sabu did. Not to mention a lot of the what ifs when it comes to Sabu. Um, if you believe rumor and innuendo, he was actually supposed to come into WWE in '96 and have a match with Shawn Michaels for the WWE Championship. Um, could you imagine that? Sabu versus
Hmm.
Shawn Michaels in 1996? And what?
I think the styles of that would have been fucking nuts because this was at the time where Shawn Michaels was experimenting, like him and Vader, him and Mankind, him and Styles made fights.
Oh yeah, and there wasn't a lot of people as athletic as Shawn Michaels that could hang with Shawn Michaels. Um, and where could that have led Sabu if he had that match with Shawn Michaels? Sabu versus Undertaker, Sabu versus Mankind, Sabu versus Stone Cold. Sabu versus The Rock. Like, what would that have been? Uh,
Oh my god, that would have.
yeah. And, while you're saying, okay, maybe hold the phone, maybe Sabu won't have done that. Well, in 2006, like a decade later, when he was in WWE, Vince McMahon actually liked Sabu. He liked the character of Sabu. And he wanted to give Sabu a push. But Sabu didn't want to talk on the mic. And as everybody knows, if you don't talk on the mic, um, Vince isn't going to push you. So, it could. There's definitely another big what if there. What if after that John Cena match at Vengeance, Sabu started talking, because obviously Vince McMahon had ideas for the guy if he put him with his biggest fucking star. Like, what if we got Sabu and Randy Orton, Sabu and Batista? Like, it's just endless. the what ifs. Like, there's so many big what ifs with Sabu. And considering he had such a massive career and well known and well respected career, and there was still so much that he could have done, it definitely makes you think, no?
It does. It really does. I mean, just him coming in with Cena, it was so extreme during that time. So you could only imagine. I think his personality probably get. I feel like he should have been bigger than what he should have been,
Oh, yeah. As
and
big as
maybe
he
just
was.
the way he approached the business from that old school mentality might have hindered him. But I mean, that dude was Jesus. You had to have been there to see him live. It was a fucking treat. It was a treat. Like him and Taz, him and RVD, them RV man. Oh, you know how many times I got my ass whooped standing up trying to find the Dudleys, and then Sabu and RVD when RVD was like double champ and Sabu was just, what I'm saying, they were
Right.
killing. They were a cheat code in ECW. I'm just saying, they were goddamn cheat codes.
I will say it is bittersweet. Only 61 years old. Um, could did a lot more living. But it's that you know, Roddy Piper Matt. Wrestlers don't live over 60, unfortunately. Um, the good thing was, he got to have his last match and kind of get that closure. Um,
Yes.
the best thing is, you know, he's at peace now, and he's probably up there with Super Genie. Um, so, I couldn't be happier for him if, that is the case. But, for us in the living world, I would say definitely thoughts and prayers go out to his friends and family.
Rest in peace, RVD. I mean, that's RVD. I'm killing RVD. Rest in peace, Sabu. Jesus, don't be killing RVD. Oh my God.
If RVD dies now, I'm totally blaming you.
Oh, please don't. I don't need to. Oh gosh, I don't need to get canceled. He killed RVD.
Loki, I still blame you for Howard Finkel.
Oh man. Dang, don't get me there. Jeez.
Well, as we get into the news, obviously a topic of the news is, how, Sabu died, and who we should blame. Some people are blaming GCW, um, Brett, Brett Lauderdale and Joey Janela. Um, According to Joey, the day of the show, Sabu wasn't planning to show. He was going to cancel because he was not feeling well. According to Sabu, his knees were fucked, and his feet were bleeding. Um, Joey Janela said, "Well, what could you do to kind of get him down here to see what we could do?" Um, the people around Sabu apparently gave him some type of drug called, I believe I'm pronouncing this correct, krypton, um, which helps with pain, some addictions, anxiety, etc., etc. Which was what got him Drew to actually do the match with Joey Janela. Um, that particular drug has been connected to deaths prior to this, but there were other drugs involved. Um, Not in pro wrestling, just in general. Um, it is legal, apparently. You can, go to your local, whatever kind of shop sells that and get it. Uh, I don't, I don't know if it had any factor, but I mean, you're in a, when you've been doing death matches as long as somebody as Sabu is, and your last match is, a barbed wire death match. Um, I don't know if it was the reason that he passed, but I also don't feel like it didn't attribute to it as well. But what are your thoughts?
I I mean,
According to the coroner's office, he died of a heart attack.
personally, when you seen how his career went, a heart attack would have been the last thing to get him.
Right.
Um, but it seems relatively within reason for a guy who, as old school as he was, probably didn't embrace new science medicine. Um, that could be the case. I don't want to really speculate too much on it. Because the coroner said it is what it is.
Right.
Uh, but I'm not. To me, roughly 60, he was still doing it, and him doing it at the level he considered himself doing it. And yeah, I can see it.
Would you say, like I said, it's. I don't think it was the cause, but it definitely did attribute to it. But and just everything else that he's done in his life, deathmatch wrestler. Um, People are blaming GCW, Brett Lauderdale, Joey Janela. I won't necessarily say that they're to blame. Like, they shouldn't be going to jail, I would say. But would you put blame on them for him being in that match?
No, because he could have easily said no.
I mean, at one point he did.
That's my point. At one point he did, and then he changed his mind. What the bell could have rang, and he easily could have said no. Up until the bell rung, he could have said no.
Very true. So, I think it's just kind of, the internet wrestling community needs somebody to blame, and, they're there. So, I get it, but I don't feel like, it's maybe as warranted as it could be, or should be. Brett put a pretty good statement out there when it came to Sabu, saying that he was very good friends with him for a very long time. So, I wouldn't say, I will say when it comes to, things like that, Brett has pulled the trigger more times than not. Alright, on to some, current news. Current wrestlers, current things going on. Miles Bourn, um, for anybody that doesn't know who he is an NXT wrestler that is a part of the Cordo Cats crew over 21, Cats 2 over 15 divided by 10, with Scott Steiner getting 142%. Um, last about 2 weeks ago, he won a battle royal to face Obafemi at Battlegrounds next week. Um, and then this last week, he is actually he cut his first promo, where he revealed that he is partially deaf. Um, I don't know if you saw this last week of NXT, but what are your thoughts on Miles Bourn?
I mean, they pulled that trigger to see if he could sink or swim. I mean, because especially when you saw the Battle Royal, it could have been Trick. Trick was on a mission
It was never going to
until
be Chip.
until Joe Hendry came in. Then we kind of was like, oh shit, who's gonna win? But yeah, give him a shot, see how it goes, and I think it starts the breakup of Charles Dempsey either leaving and venturing on his own, because it seems like they're slow rolling that. Him agreeing with Ethan Page, even when Bourne won, Dempsey was like, "Well, yeah, I'm gonna face him," and now, so it could lead to it could lead to a thing where I could see either Dempsey sabotaging him by getting trying to getting him injured so he could take the match, or sabotaging the match and trying to help him in starting that breakup of departure of him from his own crew, which is crazy. So yeah, they're doing a lot of faction breaking up lately. So sink or swim time in NXT. Meta 5 was gone. Paxley and Gigi was gone. Oh, the Meta 4, Jesus. Meta 4 is gone. Pax and Gigi gone. They're next. So yeah.
And just when Chase U came back.
Yeah, Chase U came back, but then the De Niro family, the mafia is about to dip. So I mean,
Yeah. I get it. Trying new things with new people. It's definitely, a demographic that WWE haven't touched on yet, the deaf community. So, if they can, get and inspire some people to check out the product, then, I get it. And he does look good. Um, you know, looking like a young Randy Orton notwithstanding. Um, I just don't want it to become his gimmick is the problem. Like, that that the promo he did on Wednesday, Tuesday,
NXT.
it was straight up fire. Like I don't like he said, I don't want people to judge me by my I want people to judge me by my ability and not my disability. And I'm partially deaf, but I heard all of you last week cheer for me. Like that was like some strong stuff. Like that was fire. But if they make it the gimmick that he's the deaf guy and he can't hear you, then it just becomes hokey and it becomes a parody of itself. And if you've checked his Twitter out, he's making jokes about it. But like when you're going up against Obafemi, who is like the next
Killer.
No.
Clubber Lang and this bitch.
Right. I would say maybe focus on the guy that could rip your head off and not, these jokes. Um, but we'll see. I mean, whether he, makes it or not, is yet to be seen. But he locked down Stephanie Vacour, so I can't feel sorry for him.
How dare he?
Don't don't act like you don't feel the same way.
What?
That he locked down Stephanie.
He didn't lock her down. So he got a ring on it. He didn't lock shit. I got a shot. I still got a shot, damn it.
Okay then.
So they walking down the aisle and I hear I do. It ain't over till it's over.
Another guy that's very much over in more ways than one is a one Karrion Kross. As we said a couple of weeks ago, obviously he had the promo, the guy in the suit in the truck, go fuck yourself. Trying to get eyes on him. It kind of seems like WWE is kind of wishy-washy on him. Like they don't necessarily know what to do with him. Then like 2 weeks ago, I want to say, Karrion Kross on his YouTube page, Killer Kross, produced a mini documentary about his experience in Vegas for WrestleMania 41, which I found to be very interesting, very insightful, and very curious as to why this wasn't never put on anything on, never even mentioned or produced by WWE. I'm not sure. Did you see the documentary? I did mention it to you.
Not yet. I heard about it because someone mentioned it when they were getting released. I can't remember who brought it up about how he had people in Vegas recording and him shooting his own promos. I mean, technically, he's just going the Zack Ryder method. To be quite honest, get himself over. I mean, whatever you say about him, at least he's putting matters into his own hands.
But it's not. The thing about it is, it's not a matter of getting yourself over. A lot of people can get themselves over. It's a matter of if the company wants to put you over. You know what I mean?
Well, putting over, what is putting over? Because putting over,
Well, I mean, give him a fucking match, honestly.
I mean, if he's able to be over without touching the ring, why would he? Saves his body.
Well, because it has to end up in the ring. That was my biggest problem with Bray Wyatt. Everything that he did outside the ring was fire, but it has to translate to, a match. And the matches were never... The match should be the payoff, but the match never was. You know what I mean?
True, although the killer with this is that they got so much shit in so little time. I wouldn't be surprised if he qualified for the Money in the Bank match. Because keep in mind, we still got that coming, so he could still get in on that. I don't, I'm not saying it'll get him into a qualifying match. He'll qualify for Money in the Bank, and then that'll be the gauge of how the people see him. That would be my guess if I were WWE. Hey, you're over. Okay, we'll put you in the Money in the Bank, and we'll see the actual ladder match and see how the people feel about you. Because that's what they did with LA Knight.
That's actually very true. They did. Weirdly enough, that's how they gauge a lot of people is through that Money in the Bank match. You know, Chelsea Green got a mega pop last year. You know, translated into a U.S. title run.
L.A. Knight.
L.A. Knight, like you said. Um, but it is what he's doing online. It is translating to what he's doing in the arena. He did have a promo about not last week on Raw, but the week prior to that, and the crowd was cheering him. Like the crowd was getting behind him. They were kind of hot for him, and the smart thing that he did was he acknowledged it, and when he acknowledged it and said, "Are there?" He didn't say, "Is there any freaks here tonight?" But he acknowledged the crowd and said, "Is there any Karrion Kross fans here?" And the crowd cheered him loudly. So it's hard for WWE to say, "Oh well, the crowd's not responding," when they very clearly are. And most notably, and the most important thing, especially when it comes to WWE, is Karrion Kross's T-shirt, whether it's a new T-shirt or not. It was the #1 bestseller on WWEshop.com. So people are responding with their wallets when it comes to how they feel about Karrion Kross. So it's interesting to see what they actually do with him at this point. He wasn't on Raw this week.
I mean, he was on Raw this week. He was in a nugget in which he was slinging shirts to the New Day. Yeah, then see, that's the thing. Usually when you're in those nuggets, eventually it pops out.
I don't remember
When you're in
him, but I'll check
it was, I forgot the scene. It was somebody was Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was walking to the ring, or walking. They were doing a little close up to Becky Lynch, and then you looked in the back and you saw Karrion Kross with this shirt with the New Day.
Okay. So, I mean, again, it has to translate to matches and into the ring. As long as it does that, I think he'll be okay. Talking about being okay, Ted DiBiase is 100% not okay. Quite a while ago, we spoke about him having like embezzling cash from seniors or something of that nature, where he's now facing up to 45 years in prison as the court progresses. So, not looking good for the $1 million boy. It's kind of funny, how far Cody came and how far Ted dropped.
I mean, it's weird.
Speaking of dropping, Nikki Bella will have to pay $3,500 and child what is it called? She has a child in child support. There we go. $3,500 in child support to her ex Artem, the dancer from Dancing with the Stars. Sorry, I don't know his last name. So yeah, Nikki Bella not getting custody, having to pay a shitload of money. So that likely means a WWE return is likely. Because the bitch needs money, no?
Well, we'll see. I mean, they already got her. I don't know. Let's see. Will she be there? Will she be in the E? Is she wrestling? I don't see it. I mean, she's gonna be out here making more appearances, signing more of these motherfucking autographs.
Yeah. I mean, see,
So yeah,
Brie already seems like Brie needs to dust off the old ring gear as well. Because if a Nikki Bella singles run, the fans made it clear they're not necessarily interested in that. If you watch the Royal Rumble this year,
Royal Rumble's it's different. But then again, Brie is considered the last of the Divas era. So that's another issue in itself.
okay, very true. But like, if you looked at the Royal Rumble this year, Alexa Bliss comes out, biggest pop of the night, like of anybody. Nikki
Hmm.
Bella comes out, the wettest of farts.
But Nikki Bella is respected as a wrestler. Nikki Bella is respected as,
You're saying Nikki Bella isn't respected as a wrestler?
I would say, her it's her wrestling was okay, but the problem was is that the Divas aspect of it overshadowed the wrestling aspect of it. If that makes sense.
I get it.
So more people associate. That's why more people associate her with the Divas part of it. Because you know what's crazy? They only associate Nikki with this. They don't associate Brie with this.
Right.
So that tells me that it ain't the wrestling that's the problem. It's the person and what they portray themselves as.
Well, somebody trying to portray themselves differently is one The Miz. He'll be the host of American Gladiator reboot. Um,
Thank you, Miz. Thank you, Miz. I've been waiting on that show to come back for like 30 years.
I mean, there was a reboot maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah, Mike Adamle. No. I mean, I've been working out. I'm trying to get myself back on that. I want that show. Turbo ain't there like he used to be, but you know, give me some new cats. I'll try it out.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be on Amazon Prime. I think I'm I'm excited to see the Miz on there. He's a great hype man. He's a great entertainer. Um, it is maybe worth speculating. Like, how much time does the Miz still have to wrestle? I I'm at the consensus he could wrestle for as long as he wants. Like, he doesn't have that many injuries to say like, oh, I'm fucked up. But it's not really a matter of how long he wants to how long he has left, and more on the lines of how long does he actually wants to compete. You know what I mean?
I mean, honestly, his style, he could wrestle forever.
Right.
To be quite honest, so it's not like I think it's just a matter of what he feels. I think he's gonna wrestle for a good 5-10 years because he's been relatively safe with his body,
Right.
which irritates the hell out of Daniel Bryan. But hell, he's there every day. He puts his body in a position where he's the best ability is availability,
He shows
and
up
that
to work.
availability has paid off for him I must say.
That's very true. I wonder if he actually wants to wrestle for another decade. But he'd definitely be able to wrestle for another decade if that's what he wants.
I think he will. I mean, I think he's gonna. I mean, he's gonna be there to put fucking Black over. So, because at this point, I mean, he really, he's gonna wrestle as long as he loves it. Because honestly, well, he's the only two-time Grand Slam champ.
Right.
So he's etched in history. He's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, 100%.
And while most people can complain his wrestling, but his hustle is unlike anyone else I've ever seen.
And the funny part is like, he's not a good wrestler. Oh, he doesn't deserve it. Yada yada. He's been there for 20 years. he's been
Yeah.
he's been wrestling for WWE. He's been taking that shit. He's been eating that shit for so many years. And like he's main evented WrestleMania. He's won world championships. Right now, like he has the record of being he has the most losses in WWE history. He's there because he wants to be there.
Pretty much.
You can't question his love of pro wrestling. You can't question his dedication to it. Because he could have easily gone on the independents, and been a big fish.
No, he wasn't going independent. He was not going independent.
Exactly. So
he wasn't. He wasn't doing independent. No, I don't see it.
Right. He was never, because it wasn't the goal. I mean, he could have done that, but the goal was WWE. He loved WWE, and we continue to see him love WWE even today.
The fact that he's been there, what, 20 years? Ziggler did 20. So think about it. He's been there longer than Ziggler and Bryan and Rock, HBK. I mean, as far as like wrestling, think of these people. I mean, he's probably the second longest tenured guy there, other than Taker.
Taker did 30 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
and like actively wrestling as well. So I mean, he's at 20 right now. He came in 2005. So yeah.
I'm calling this. He's breaking Taker's employee record. I mean, I think it's just him. It's him, Natty, him, Natalia, and him, Natalia, and Taker. It's been like more consistent.
Did Natty come in 2008 or 2006?
Oh, good question. Natty. Oh, I want to say 2008, but I think she's probably could be. I mean, she's 40s. She's in her 40s, so she's been there since her 20s. Okay. I'm gonna give it 20 years.
So you're going with the 2006?
No, like it had to been like 07.
Well, I mean, the Hart Dynasty.
I want to say
was 2008, and let's say that they did Hart Dynasty like in OVW and in 07. So yeah, I would.
So yeah, I mean, there since 07, on TV 08, Hart Dynasty 2009-10. So, but 2007, so she's like 2 years away from 20 years.
Well,
Which fucking, I mean, they do her dirty. But she's killing it in WA, so fuck it.
yeah. She doesn't seem upset about it. She's still getting that WWE check, so, you know, living her best life.
Hey, they let her. I mean, she's been. I mean, she's the only consistent fucking girl in that damn thing. She literally been through 3 different goddamn eras. Like, that's crazy. When you think about it.
You're not wrong.
3 eras of women's wrestling.
Somebody that's not liking WWE at the moment is going to be on a WWE produced show, and that is one Braun Strowman. It was announced that on the USA channel there will be a TV show called Everything on the Menu, featuring Braun Strowman going from state to state eating food. Produced by WWE. Yeah, it's kind of weird that they had that in the pipeline and they still let him go, but I digress. Any thoughts?
I mean, but from what I was told, he's technically there still. So, I mean, let's see. I mean, Braun, shit, that's not. He can go in the Indies and demand money. Ain't that many 6-7 pound strong pan motherfuckers running around, that they could just pluck from trees.
You could just say he can control his narrative now.
Oh God. Let's stop. Let's not go there. I mean, Mr. Narrative is in NWA, so, and the other narrative is starting a real American wrestling blah blah blah.
When does Hulk Hogan attach to control your narrative?
I was thinking Bischoff, but that's just me.
Oh, I never heard that, but
Me neither, but I'm just speculation.
okay. We're creating our own rumors and innuendos at this point?
I mean, it's control your narrative, right? You gotta control the narrative.
Very true. The narrative right now is that Roxanne and Golia are not considered main roster talent, even though they was literally the main event of Monday Night Raw last week on the show, and been appearing regularly since, well, in Roxanne's case, appearing regularly since January, and Julia for the last maybe month or so. It doesn't necessarily make sense to me. Like, why? Their main eventing Raw, like, just give them that stamp. Like, they need their main roster talent. You know what I mean?
Rox is going to be the future. Julia, I think they're more. Her biggest thing is going to be the English, but Roxanne, I mean, she's roughly the same age as Paige when Paige was on the main roster, in her 20s, early 20s, give or take a couple of years. So just let her grow on it. And even if they don't think that's the case, I mean, what is she going to do in NXT? Because she's practically done it all.
Well, from what I'm hearing, they want to do like a proper draft in like a month or two where they properly introduce them. But I mean, again, they've been there, and they've they've main evented Raw. Like, I don't think anything more needs to be said. Like, just give them the stamp. Give them that back pay on main roster money. You know what I mean?
I mean, who's to say that they haven't?
Uh, the rumor, like I said, rumor and innuendo suggests that they're not listed internally as main roster talent.
Well, that kind of flies in the face of what happened Monday.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't just they don't do that unless you know what I'm saying. It's like it just give you anybody the main event slot in Raw. Just throwing that out there, but okay.
Apparently, um, them two and Stephanie are slated to join the main roster. I heard Kalani Jordan as well, but they didn't necessarily say. Um, they wasn't necessarily as confident in Kalani because um, you can't bring everybody up all at once. Um, Obviously NXT is getting a couple of new goals in the next couple of weeks and months. The LFG is ending this upcoming Sunday. So either um, is her name Sandra May? Um, the Olympian girl and Zara are gonna be competing for a contract, and whoever else they pulled up from the main roster as well, pull up from LFG as well. There's a couple of people I would think they would have their eyes on.
I mean, but the bakery is always baking, so it don't even matter.
Personally, I mean, people. It seems like people are giving money hand over fist to see Stephanie.
Oh yes, they are.
For
I don't blame them, nigga.
yeah, but like I mean, I wouldn't like she's the only hot thing in NXT right now, so I wouldn't see why they would want to pull her from something that's really working for her, and for a brand that's struggled to get people to get tickets to the shows.
NXT. I mean,
Before
I
the
think I think they struggled to have a name in NXT, and Stephanie is the biggest name, but it also because she's probably the most sought after looking chick that you ever seen in your life. So there's a distinction there, big distinction,
I mean,
big distinction.
no disrespect to Trip Williams, but when they started touring, you know, NXT, they had to go from big arenas to smaller arenas because they wasn't selling tickets. With Trip Williams as the header, they had to advertise CM Punk and Randy Orton for those shows, and they still didn't sell them out. So
But NXT was never meant to be like. I mean, here's the thing. Okay, and this is where how can Bob Ross we got into a happy accident. NXT accidentally became a third brand. It wasn't meant to be a third brand. It just became a third brand because they signed so many high profile people that were putting on these banger matches that it became a victim of its own success, to be quite honest.
and I agree with you, and I understand what you mean, but when you go, if you're not selling out NXT and it's locally to, the Florida area, I mean that's fine. It's not a big deal, I would say, because it would just be a developmental at that point. But when when you become, a touring company, where you're leaving, the base, it costs money to come out of, your state. It costs money to travel from from Florida to Chicago. It needs to sell tickets in order to be successful. You know what I mean?
I get where you're coming from in that regard. I also look at it like it's more it's more trial for them to see how they handle the road in itself.
Right.
I mean, that could be another. To me, that's a huge factor. Can these people that you're going to entrust on the main roster handle themselves accordingly when they're quote unquote on the road? So I get it. I mean, so that's what I think they're looking for. Uh,
And I mean,
so
Stephanie
we'll
as well.
see where they go from there. And
Steph-
Stephanie's hot.
and
And as long as she's there, they're gonna make sure they find her. Cause keep in mind, they ain't that dumb. They're thinking they're lucky stars that she picked NXT.
oh yeah,
Because if they put her on the main roster, somebody would have had to go, and that somebody would have had to get pushed to the side.
are you saying Rhea?
I mean, she's gonna be too big. She would have been. I mean, you saw the reaction they got with her and just EO.
Right.
I mean, that in itself tells you what they think of her. Which is weird because that tells me either the fans are more knowledgeable or they just like the way that she looks.
Could be a little bit of both.
And I'm thinking it's 25-75 the latter. No, well, 80-20 the latter. 20-80 the latter.
All right. I think that should conclude our coverage of the news for this week. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off-brands out there that are presenting low-quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more win.
use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with WWE Backlash. One last time.
Oh God.
Took place last Saturday in Stavanger, Louis, Missouri, at the Enterprise Center. Attendance was 17,155. Um, and yeah, this was I don't want to say it was a basic WWE pay-per-view. It was definitely solid, but it is kind of what they've been cementing for maybe the last 2 years. This one was just maybe more memorable than others, in my opinion. But what say you, Kaliko?
I mean, it was okay. It was okay. Uh, I get why they couldn't go all the way because keep in mind it just seems like their schedule was fucking hooked. It's fucking hooked because I mean you had that and you still got uh I'm trying to think when is the Night of Champions? That's coming up. Money in the Bank's coming up. SummerSlam's coming up. Saturday Night Main Event's coming up. So it's like they can't, blow it all out. Because keep in mind, today is Saturday Night Main Event. So
Yeah.
Saturday Night Main Event in Tampa. So, and then you got Battleground, and then you got, 2 weeks later, Money in the Bank. Then you got, you see what I'm saying? So it's getting there. I mean, I don't think they're gonna have a good break until SummerSlam, and I'm still thinking they still have the Night of Champions in there somewhere. So I mean, that's my point. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. So they can't load the cart. I mean, the car was loaded okay. And I get why they're doing it okay because they're just trying to build each pay-per-view to each different story, but that still doesn't defy the fact that this was just an okay show, not like this uber banger.
I thought there was some good shit on this one. I kind of enjoyed it, but we'll talk about that in a minute. It does seem like there's so many masters WWE is serving right now. First we have Backlash, then we have Saturday Night Main Event and a couple tonight. Um, Nothing even has been announced for Money in the Bank, and we're like 2 weeks out, and that's like one of the top five, um,
Pay-per-views.
pay previews that they do. And then like literally 20 days later, they do Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. So I mean, there's not a lot of room to breathe, and they're not allowing. It's basically just one gigantic cash grab at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but let's get into it. A fatal four-way match for the United States Championship. Jacob Fuck You defeated Lon Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre in 17 minutes 55 seconds. Good way to start the night. LA Knight came in hot. Jacob Fatu's always hot. Priest and McIntyre was there for reasons. And
I mean, I told you what was gonna happen. Everything that happened, I told you was gonna happen. I told you what was gonna happen. They're gonna fuck around and they're gonna be too busy, and it's just gonna be Knight and Fatu, and Fatu gets the dub.
but you also said that Fatu was going to pin either Priest or McIntyre.
That I did think because I thought they were going to continue the thing, but once they took each other out, it was like, oh shit. Well, there's only one person left to pin. Deductive reasoning there. We didn't see Jeff Cobb bringing his ass out there, but
And I mean, what the fuck? Like anybody that's remotely off white color
Samoa.
joins the bloodline at this point.
I mean, if you look Samoan, you in it, homie.
But Joe
You.
Samoa Joe wasn't considered for Bloodline.
I don't think he would want to be.
It's not a matter of wanting to be. It's a matter that he's fucking Samoa Joe. He looks more Samoan than fucking Jeff Cobb. Isn't Jeff Cobb Filipino?
He can pass. I guess that's the case. You're asking the wrong mofo for this bitch. I mean, no, he's from Hawaii. Hawaii Samoan.
I'm honestly, I'm just kind of sick of if you look
He is
Samoan.
Filipino. You are right. But born and raised in Hawaii, it's different.
It's different.
I guess.
You know, it's ridiculous. Just like the Tongans, you could say yes, they're loosely associated with the bloodline.
Loosely is a strong. Loosely is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that word, sir. In that phrase.
But you could also make the argument, Solo needed them at the time. But Jake, what is his name? Jeff Cobb, no association.
J.C. Mateo now.
Oh, fuck me. Literally no connection to the bloodline whatsoever. Like, what the fuck is Zilla?
I got better connections to the bloodline. I got a better connection to the bloodline.
I would not be surprised if you didn't. Like, at this point, we're all connected to the bloodline at some point.
We're all related.
Yeah.
All together now.
We're all family.
Jesus, we're all family. Help us, Lord.
How many stars you give this one?
I mean, nice starter match. The Jeff Cobb thing kind of threw everything off. That was their surprise for the night. Their holy shit for the night. So it works. 3.5. It was good. It was good. Was it a banger? No, but 3.5.
Yeah, I'll give it 3.5 as well. So, would you like to announce our segment?
Well, I would, but when I looked up, Meltzer lazy because his ratings aren't even out yet. But granted, it was like a week ago, so he might be slacking.
Wow. There's no review of, there's no star ratings from Meltzer of Backlash?
It says Meltzer's rating has not been completed. Then
wow, that's like the biggest.
Please check out his WrestleMania 41 rating. And I'm like, wait, what?
Look, like that's the biggest shocker of all of this. Is Meltzer didn't review.
I think I don't know, maybe he's too mad like me, that of course,
Stephanie
Yeah.
McCoy engaged.
Bullshit. Don't you dare speak that blasphemy.
She's engaged to Miles Bourn.
No, she's not.
Yeah, it's like all over the internet.
I believe it when I have yet to see that. Oh no. I refuse.
Alright, then that brings us to our second match, WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Lara Valkyria defeated Becky Lynch in 18 minutes 45 seconds. Great fucking match. This is what Becky Lynch, why she's the man. It's why she's, the trusted person to get people over in WWE. You know, they spout shit. Oh, Becky Hogan. You know, she could have won this match. Instead, she made a fucking star out of Lara Valkyria. And one of the better women's matches that we've seen, period. That wasn't a triple threat. And, yeah, it had everything you would want in a grudge match for a championship match. Yes, there was some botches. I will say that. But I think that the botches actually played better to the story that they were telling than actually take away from the match, if that makes sense.
Because it was not, because you're looking at it more as a wrestling brawl than a wrestling match.
Right, the inexperience of Lyra, the ring awareness of Lyra. You know, Lyra might have gotten her nose broken. You know.
Oh, she did. Oh, she did. She did.
So, you know, it was a brawl. It is officially the most memorable women's intercontinental championship match that she's had yet.
It's like the third fucking match. third goddamn intercontinental title match.
And it was the best out of those 3 matches.
It was the best match. I mean, what, 2 of them were Dakota Kai?
Yeah.
Just saying.
It makes you like Lyra more because now, even though she's a champion, she has an uphill battle against Becky Lynch, and it makes you care about her. Like they literally made Lara Valkyria from a superstar, from a star to a superstar in a matter of 3 weeks because Becky Lynch got her there. But what say you, Kaliko?
Lyra got her ass kicked. She won the battle but lost some more. God damn it! She was taker that night. She might have won the match, but she wasn't leaving on her own accord, motherfucker. So yeah, I mean, Becky did the right thing, put her over. I thought Becky would have won, but it actually proves Becky's point. You know, the promo she cut the following Monday proved her point. So I mean.
Right.
It's just to the point where she just feels like she doesn't even need any of us. Which is weird because, you know, she's like cutting these promos and people are like, yeah, you know, boo Becky. But, I mean, it's weird because they boo Charlotte because they really don't like Charlotte. They boo Becky because she makes them. Whole different dichotomy, but hey, right? Even the day that Lyra won, it made it look like she got by the skin of her teeth, which is what you want, you know, which sets up a rematch.
Right, and at some point, you know, Bayley's gonna come for that ass too.
I think Bayley Becky's SummerSlam. If that doesn't happen at SummerSlam, somebody needs to get shot. Well, not shot, but ran over with a car, Austin style.
They did it for The Rock.
I did it for Bayley.
How many stars you give?
So I mean.
Continue.
Let's see, how many stars? I guess. Was it better than Fatu's match? 3.5. I get it was right up there. I mean, granted that, well, hold on, let me see. Now you got, hold on, I gotta rethink that because I gotta rethink this card.
I was gonna
Let
say,
me rethink this card.
would you like
Because
my review, my star rating before you say anything more?
I'm going through the card right now. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, Dominic and Penta. Huh. As a wrestling match, this was probably the match of the night. Now when I'm looking at it, because, I mean, McAfee and Gunther was just a one-sided ass whooping. But and Dominic and Penta was kind of like a glorified Raw match. So, yeah, technically, this might have been the match. Yeah. 4.
I give it 4.5. I think that this was a banger match. Becky is still very much on when it comes to, what's asked of her as a wrestler. She's still cementing herself as the best female wrestler in the world today. And she made us give a crap about Lyra Valkyria. And it just told a great story. So, it was a win-win-win-win situation. Becky lost, but she still won in the end.
Well, she won the battle. She lost the battle, won the war, like I said.
Well, I mean, taking a loss isn't going to hurt Becky at this point, so.
It won't. It will not. That is for sure.
That brings us to the WWE Intercontinental Championship match. Dominic Mysterio defeating Penta in 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Okay match.
Not as good as their Raw match.
Yeah. Not the best match that they had, either guy. But it is kind of still telling that story between Finn Balor and Dom. So you get.
Well, Finn in the Judgment Day at this point, shit.
So there's that. But that's really the only thing I could really say about this match was, it progressed the story. It wasn't necessarily a blow-off. It was just kind of on the card, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, but people love Dom, so.
The greatest Mysterio of all time.
Let him tell it.
Apparently, he made $4,000 during his time in WWE when he was a kid. The I'm Your Poppy storyline. And after only spending $400 at Toys R Us, his father told him that he spent all of his money. So, Rey Mysterio stole his WWE checks. What a deadbeat dad. No?
How dare they? That's why he says he's the greatest Mysterio, because he's the honest Mysterio.
And I hope. And one day when Dom has his children of his own, we know that he won't be a deadbeat like Ray.
I mean, no Ray, no Dom. So there's that.
No, you got that wrong. No Eddie, no Dom.
Oh, chingawe.
Anything you want to add, or do you want to go to your star rating?
I mean, that match was a 3. I mean, it was good, but the Raw after was better.
Yeah,
Next.
I agree with that. Agree. Wasn't as good as Jacob and the four-way, and it definitely wasn't better than Becky and Lara. All right.
Yeah, they let them cook. Now when I think about it, they let them fucking go.
Special singles match. Gunther defeated Pac McAfee in 14 minutes. Loki, this seemed like this was the 9-minute match, and Dom and Penta was the 14-minute, but I digress. I found this interesting. I think it was everything that it needed to be. You know, it obviously showed how strong Gunther is. You know, the crowd did get behind Pat. There was that one, oh my god, what the fuck moment where Pat actually almost got Gunther with the help of Michael Cole. Oh, that kind of popped me, but I mean, it did.
I've never seen Michael Cole more involved in a match in my life.
Right.
And that's including his own WrestleMania match. Go figure.
So, I mean, I think that this worked. I don't think anybody expected this to be a 10-star match in the Tokyo Dome. It wasn't supposed to be a 10-star match in the Tokyo Dome. It was supposed to be a beatdown that got Gunther over again. You know, after, you know, a humiliating loss. And he got that. So, in my opinion, they understood the assignment and they got an A.
My only critique of this match was after the match. Because me personally, I would have let Gunther just beat their ass, treat them like they're trash, and keep it moving. Because the way that he can and gave him the bow, I get it because he's giving him a bow as a nod of respect, and I understand that aspect of it. The issue that I have with it is that if you knew you were going to do what you did Monday with Gunther, it would have came off a lot more credible for him to be a threat to get it back if he had to done that shit after the match. Had he had to beat the shit out of Pat, then beat the shit out of Cole, and then went and demanded his rematch, he looks more like a monster than he did doing the nod. But that's the only critique I see. It's more of a psychological thing. But
No, I agree. I agree with you on that part, but I can also understand, you know, kind of why they did what they did. Because, keep in mind, Pat and Michael Cole still have to commentate Gunther matches. So you don't want, you know, your two, you know, commentators shitting on, you know, one of your biggest stars. You know.
well, here's my thing. I think they did that as a storyline to kind of play in real life what was happening here in the States with the whole Trump versus journalism thing, which is fine. But my biggest part is that if you're going to do that, you need to see it all the way through, right? Instead of just a one-off, right?
So you're saying that this should have been a longer feud?
Yeah. At least, because it just seemed like, okay, the night after Mania, he did this, and then he got suspended, but then he didn't really get suspended because it was only about a week, and then they put him in a match that was coming up the next 2 weeks, which is right after WrestleMania, after he had just had a WrestleMania match. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The scheduling was all fucked up. that's something that could have lasted about 3 months easily. Easily. Because it could have been something where it was like he was on indefinite suspension until Money in the Bank or Saturday Night right around this time. And then you could have probably had that match at here or Money in the Bank. Then him carrying that momentum into a rematch at SummerSlam. Rather than carrying that momentum into a Raw match on Monday in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was going to say. A random Raw in Phoenix, Arizona.
Right. Me personally, I wish they had just had him carry this momentum into a Big Four pay-per-view rematch versus, because to me that screams he's not seeing that title again.
Right. And
See, and that to me is the problem. It just screams, okay, if he's not winning this, it ain't happening. And that's what you don't want to see with Gunther. I want the illusion of doubt, and what better illusion of doubt than at the same, literally a year and some change to the day that he won it.
no, I get what you mean.
So that's the only critique. But other than that, I mean, everything else I'm okay with. I just want them to make him look more, because he's snobby, but he's also I'm better than you snobby. And I can get my way snobby. By choice or by force snobby. And that's what you want out of him. But him doing that match, giving him the thing, and then going to Jay and trying to talk like he's this monster guy that's going to get it back, I really didn't believe it because of everything that happened beforehand. That's my biggest killer. But other than that, I get why they did it. I'm just saying they could have just went another route.
No, I definitely get it.
Fuck, I'm old. Fuck, I'm old.
I just hate the fact that we're getting Gunther versus Jey Uso again. Like, low-key, it makes me kind of want a Logan Paul just to win the title, just so we don't have to see it again.
But that's the thing. It's going to happen again. I think, honestly, their best match was the Intercontinental match about, a year ago? Roughly a year ago.
I think it was a little more than a year ago, but yeah.
Yeah, about roughly about a year and some change. So I think that was their best match. Gunther getting the rematch screamed that Logan wasn't winning. And that's the other problem too, because it you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So by him doing that, it kind of preludes with everything that's gonna pop off, because I'm like, there's no fucking way in hell Logan's winning, because Logan he's one of those rare dudes who can take a L and is like, it doesn't faze him, because they expect him to lose. In a sense, as good as he is, they expect him to lose. But yeah, so it just throws all of that off, and it kind of makes it more predictable, rather than him just going, hey, even if he had said, I'm getting my rematch at Money in the Bank, I would have took that, because at least if he had won it, he would have got cashed in.
I get what you mean.
There's the unpredictability of the cash in. So that's where it's like, I get that they're hitting the schedule harder than UFC, but they're in that scheduling, it's fucking up their unpredictability.
I think overall it's just killing their storytelling in general.
Mm-hmm.
the best thing about CM Punk and Drew McIntyre is they went 6 months feuding, and they never touched each other in a wrestling ring. That was what made their feud so great. And then they only had 3 matches in the span of maybe 4 months. So that so it was a nine oh so 6 7 8 9 it was a 9 month maybe 10 month feud that spanned the whole year, but it had room to breathe, develop, and we're not getting that because of a more heavy schedule, more. And the stupid thing is it's the same people on the same cards. They're not, if it was like one PLE Raw, one PLE SmackDown, or you're switching the people that are on these shows, but it's not. It's the same people doing the same things on the same shows, which hurts the product, in my opinion.
I mean, that's honestly going to be the biggest killer. Yeah, it's just their overscheduling of these big events is killing their storytelling and payoffs. But the only advantage it has is that it's allowing to chunk it to where they can tell different stories and let different stories breathe. But that would be up to WWE to do so. So that's where the issue lies.
Getting back to Gunther and Pat McAfee, how many stars do you give this one?
I mean, it was a good 3. I mean, 3.5. I give it 3.5. I give it 3.5. The match, I mean, after this card was like a good match, good card. Just wasn't this NXT takeover-ish style card that we're used to. If that makes sense.
No, I gotcha. I give it 3.5 as well. It told a good story. There was some moments that got you invested. All in all, it worked. That brings us to the main event, the last match. The reason people were in St. Louis, and that is the undisputed WWE Championship match. John Cena defeated Randy Orton in 27 minutes and 50 seconds. The internet being the internet, they will, was quite divided on this match.
It was.
I'll be the first one to tell you, I've never liked John Cena versus Randy Orton. I thought as many times as they had matches with each other, I will guarantee you 90% of them were the drizzling shits. And I'm being generous with giving them 10% of matches that were good. So going into this match, my expectations weren't high. So, I kind of thought I had an idea of what to expect. And then it kind of just flipped the script on me. If I had to describe this in any, way, this was an old-fashioned WWE special number 2, where it was just Gaga and a clusterfuck of what the fuck. And if I'm being honest, it actually kind of worked, because these were the matches that WWE kind of did in the 90s, where, you didn't necessarily, you knew a lot of shit was going to happen. There was a lot of run-ins, a lot of things going on. The heel got the advantage, the heel won, but the babyface didn't look bad in the end. So, if I'm being honest, I think that this was maybe John Cena and Randy Orton's best match that I've seen of them. So, I liked it. What say you, Kaliko?
It if it wasn't for like the 38 finishers, then it would have made sense, right? Uh it was it felt like typical Randy Orton Cena in the 2000s, right? At least to me it did. The only caveat was R-Truth bringing his ass out there.
I fully expected
Which
that to happen.
confused I mean, but considering that he's going against John Cena on Saturday Night Main Event, yeah, he kind of finagled his way. R-Truth being R-Truth. So yeah, I mean, it kind of made sense, and it makes sense in the regard that R-Truth looks at him as his hero, and now it's like, you know, now it's going that route. That's the only reason R-Truth got there, so it could get to that. Um, that being said, other than the finishers, like the 38,000 finishers, the match that really wasn't needed, the match was okay. I mean, but then again, when you think of Cena, he's trying to kill wrestling. And what better way to kill wrestling than to actually do the thing that people say that he can't do already? Bitch, you already said I can't wrestle. I might as well do these bootleg ass moves and piss you off even more. So that's why I think it kind of plays into it a little bit. It kind of works with him in this iteration. Um, he does kind of seem to have a buyer's remorse in this sense as he was leaving the arena. So I mean, there's that factor, but
Yeah. For anybody that doesn't know, after the show, after the cameras went off, the crowd knows. The crowd in St. Louis are obviously a smart crowd. They started cheering John Cena like crazy and saying, "Thank you, Cena. Thank you, Cena." You know, they know that it's a part of the performance that they're supposed to boo him. The St. Louis crowd, understood that assignment. But they also know it's the last time they're going to see John Cena live wrestle. So, they gave him his
I don't
flowers.
know. Vegas was the same. I mean, there was no difference between this crowd and Vegas to me.
I think that they were pro Randy Orton for obvious reasons. But once the show was ended, and the performance was done, they knew that it was time just to give John Cena his flowers. My opinion. Um,
I mean, after as I mean, I'm telling you right now, as Cena was walking up the ramp, they did the same thing. So that's what I'm saying. It ain't no different.
but yeah.
The only difference is Cena's reaction to it.
I think that he's just, it's kind of setting in on him that, these are his final matches, that he's, it's ending for him. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that he's getting emotional about it.
No, I don't think he's getting emotional about that. Personally, I don't think he's getting emotional.
You think he's
I
having
think he's
regret?
getting emotional. second thoughts. The way that he did it made it seem like was it worth it? Because now he's having to look himself in the mirror. Because at first he did it out of spite, and now because the thank you Cenas are not going away.
No.
They're only going to amplify more and more and more and more. So it plays into his conscience more and more and more and more. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that to me is going to be the biggest story of this.
I mean, I guess we'll see because Cody is coming back, sooner rather than later. Who knows? He might be coming back, tonight at Saturday night's main event. Which might, make the set up a Money in the Bank match or even a SummerSlam match. I mean, if we get the
word is Money in the Bank.
Huh?
Word is Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
The rumor is Money in the Bank.
There's still, hope that we'll get a CM Punk John Cena Money in the Bank match, but that's seeming unlikely at the moment. But again, who knows? And then, I mean, lastly, we're expecting Cody to show up, but I think if Tatanka confronted John Cena, that would just confuse the hell out of people.
So here's the thing. The only way Punk Cena happens in Money in the Bank is if it was in Chicago. And it ain't in Chicago, so you can miss that one. Cena Punk at Night of Champions? That seems more reasonable because it's a one-off and you don't really need to build a story for it.
Knowing Punk, he's going to want the story.
Well, the story is in itself. I mean, I'm not saying... When I say built the story, because here's the thing, you still got to give a reason for Punk to pivot from Seth.
The only thing I would say was the pivot from Seth is if Roman comes back and say, "You go away, I got this handled." You know what I mean?
That ain't happening. Though. I don't see that happening. The enemy of the enemy is my friend. Sammy is just the holdover for Roman to come back.
And low-key, people are speculating that Sammy might be turning on Punk on tonight.
Yeah, so why wouldn't so to me it makes more sense that Roman and Punk are teaming. The question is when.
That's the question. That's what I was gonna say. Like Roman could just say, go away now. I got this handled, but Punk goes and does the match with Cena, comes back and say, "Oh, I thought you had this handled. Are we doing this?" You know what I mean?
No, I think Punk is too prideful to let someone handle his own business. And that is the biggest problem because keep in mind, Punk and Roman are prideful men.
Very much so.
So why the hell would Punk allow any person come in to do his work for him at this stage of his career? And Roman, this is a 10-year problem for him. So he's, you know what I'm saying? He's just coming full circle. So they're going to fight about it, and then they'll team up for it.
Right.
So it's just a matter of when. I'm expecting SummerSlam, but to give them a reason to have a 2-night SummerSlam, because keep in mind that bitch is 2 nights. It ain't one night like Cleveland.
That's right. I forgot about that. You kn- there's obviously John Cena is going to sell out night 2, but you need something big on night 1 to really make people want to come.
Yeah, huge. That's a huge reason. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Anybody coming for Cardi B?
Courtney B, Sexy Red, Twerk Off.
Please don't make me throw up.
With Shawn Michaels and Sexy Red's corner and Triple H and Courtney B's corner. And then they all.
Now, if it was Stephanie Vercor and Julia and Roxanne, I could see your point. Anybody else? Nah, I'm good.
Lola Rice.
JC Jane. JC Jane. JC Jane.
I mean,
Tatum Paxson.
I mean, you have JC, but I mean, JC. She doesn't. She's got cake. She doesn't got a pound cake like the others.
Jada Parker. Yeah, Jada Parker got a pound cake. Anyway.
But we're getting completely off topic now. John Cena versus Randy Orton. How many stars you give it?
If you say it was their best match and it's still a 3, is it a really good match?
Well, I said it was their best match. I don't know where you put this match.
I mean, the R-Truth. Here's the thing. I have to side claimer. I'm judging this from entrance to press conference because it all is encompassed to one story, right?
Mm-hmm.
With that, I give it a 3.5 because it R-Truth coming in and him doing the after thing excoriates why he came in the first place, thus, continuing the story. So that's what, what I'm saying? So, because if you look at it just the match itself, you'll probably be like, what the fuck, R-Truth is doing this? It's a 2. But then you have to look at what happened after when he went to the press conference and something about how he couldn't wrestle, and now he's got a match on the Saturday Night Main Event with John Cena. Just saying. And I'm just going to tell you right now, that might be the only person in the world where John Cena is going to fight him, and everyone's going to boo him.
You might not be wrong about that. People love themselves some R-Truth. Including.
Like that. That's going to be the only match where he gets booed, like legit booed, because R-Truth is like, he's a treasure.
God, he is. I will give this 4 stars. It was a good match. It was, like I said, a WWE special. The kind of matches that they're known for. All the gaga and clusterfuckery of it all. And, if you go in there and, kind of just take it for what it's worth and not, take it too seriously, you'll actually enjoy the match. So, that's what I did. I enjoyed the match. 4 stars. John Cena versus Randy Orton. For the last time. Possibly.
Till Survivor Series.
Yeah. Maybe even whatever show they decide to do in December.
I mean, the last show is in Boston, so what? This is your life, Cena? Like, what the fuck? Ain't that much you can do.
The show as a whole. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
I mean, it wasn't the best. It was okay. I mean, I thought this, and I get why it was okay. So I give it like that. Like that Orange Cassidy thumbs up, where he's kind of up, but it's not all the way up. because I get why they booked it the way they booked it, or I get why they even had the matches they had, because they're like, shit, 2 weeks we got Saturday Night Main Event, we can't blow our load. Then we got Money in the Bank after that, can't blow our load. So I get it. It's just still doesn't mean it was the best.
I give it a normal thumbs up. I liked what I saw. Never felt like there was anything too out there or anything that, offended me, pissed me off, made me not, enjoy the show.
Lies.
Everything just kind of worked for me. So yeah, give it a thumbs up. Right. That will conclude our coverage of WWE Backlash in this episode as a whole. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this upcoming Tuesday as we interview The Real Drago, and this Wednesday as we interview Daniel Mac Shaw. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesShay993. Where can we find Kaliko?
I am Kaliko, and you do know that R-Truth might win this match. It's a non-title match. He might just fucking win this match. He might do something Cody couldn't do. Cold-blooded. Cold.
So we might be seeing Cody Rhodes, not Cody Rhodes, John Cena versus R-Truth at
Money in the Bank. Oh my god. The title. R-Truth could make that an 8-month rivalry. Fucking around with him.
Chew on that for now. For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James Shay, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
R-Truth is winning. Hot take. We going all in. All in. R-Truth winning.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.